They thought it was a joke, a harmless prank. But betrayal has a strange way of teaching people what they truly mean to you. It started at the airport, the buzzing lights, the rolling suitcases, the smell of burnt coffee. I was smiling that morning, one hand dragging my bag, the other holding my wife's, Emily, my wife of 6 years, my best friend for 10, or so I believed. We were heading to the States after a week in Canada with friends. It was supposed to be simple, just a connecting flight. But when I reached the counter, the agent gave me that polite smile people use when they're about to ruin your day. "I'm sorry, sir, but your ticket's been canceled." Canceled? I looked at Emily across the terminal, her and our 2 friends, laughing near the boarding gate. She avoided my eyes for a second, just long enough to tell me everything. They waved, mockingly. The plane door closed, and I stood there, alone, realizing I wasn't part of the joke. I was the punchline. That night, I stayed at a cheap motel near Toronto Pearson, the kind of place where the air smells like cigarettes and disappointment. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about the message she'd sent when they landed in New York. "That was fun. You should have seen your face." My thumb hovered over the keyboard, but I didn't reply. I deleted the message instead. The silence was my first move. 5 days went by. No calls answered. No texts returned. On the 6th day, she broke. 271 calls, 48 messages, each one a little more desperate than the last. By then, the plan was already in motion. Emily had always been the one who handled our finances. I trusted her with everything: cards, passwords, even the investment account. When you love someone, you don't question their loyalty. But I started remembering little things: the phone always face down, the girls' nights that didn't make sense, the second phone she swore was for work. The night after the airport, I opened my laptop, logged into our joint account. She forgot I was the one who set it up. Within an hour, I knew everything: the hidden transfers to her friend Kevin's account, the hotel bookings that didn't match any business trips, the private messages linked to her iCloud. She wasn't just cruel, she was careless. So I stopped being the man she thought I was. I started small, quiet. I moved my savings, the vacation fund she thought we shared, into a new account under my name. I closed the credit card she used, reported the joint ones as compromised. Then I called a lawyer I'd helped once during my old firm days, a quiet, ruthless man named Harris. Within a week, the property, the car, the investments, all frozen, all legal, all hers on paper. But the moment she crossed the border, she triggered my jurisdictional claim. Technically, she was trying to transport assets under review. Harris called it strategic timing. I called it justice. She still thought I was sulking. That's what she told her friends, that I was being dramatic. On the 5th day, I finally replied, "Thanks for this. Sarah has been the sweetest." Sarah, her colleague, a woman she couldn't stand, the one Emily always accused me of being too friendly with. She must have read that message 20 times before it sunk in. The calls came instantly. Dozens at first, then hundreds. Voicemails filled with tears, apologies, and half-truths. I didn't answer. I wanted her imagination to do the damage. While she spiraled, I was already moving out. I packed everything I owned. Not much, as it turned out. Most of the furniture was mine before marriage, so it legally reverted to me once she left the country. The rest I donated. Her clothes, her shoes, her designer bags, all sent to a local charity under her name. They even posted a thank you note online. "Emily's generous donation will help many in need." It went viral. By the time she came home, the house was empty. Even the walls looked lighter. She texted me a photo of the vacant living room with one line, "What did you do?" I didn't reply. I was already gone. 3 days later, she arrived at the bank. Harris was there, waiting with a smile that could cut glass. He handed her the documents, The frozen accounts, the forfeited assets, the separation agreement I'd filed. Her voice cracked when she called me. You did all this because of a prank? A prank, that's what she called it. Leaving me stranded in another country, mocking me in front of friends, hiding an affair in shared accounts. A prank. I told her one thing before hanging up. You don't get to decide what hurts me. I've been living in Montreal since. A quiet apartment overlooking the river. Sarah, yes, that Sarah, brings coffee every morning before work. She says I'm calmer now, lighter. Maybe I am. Sometimes I reread Emily's last message. Can we talk, please? I never respond. Not out of anger anymore, out of peace. Because revenge isn't about destruction. It's about balance. They took my trust and turned it into a joke. I turned their joke into a lesson. And in the silence that followed, I found something rare: clarity. So yes, Emily, if you're still wondering, Sarah really has been the sweetest. Not because she replaced you, but because she reminded me how to feel something honest again. And that's something you'll never understand.